Things are kind of peachy, very peachy in the farm stand kitchen. It's peach season in Illinois in 217 area here. This is one of my favorite times of the year, peach season. If you have our new cookbook, we have some peach jams in there. I love peaches, and I've been creating this peach bread pudding. I did this a couple days ago, and I'm going to show you how to do it because you've seen the promo. Turned out pretty good. Turned out really good, actually. And I'm going to show you how to make it. But look at those beautiful peaches. We just got these this morning, and boy, are they gorgeous, and whoo, they smell good. Okay, so we're going to be kind of moving around the farm stand kitchen a little bit today, because I'm going to have to get over to the stove. But it's all good. Dave can follow me anywhere, right, Dave?
Right.
Okay, so what we have here first is 4 cups of day-old bread. This happens to be a Vienna bread. This is what I had. Could be French. You guys know about bread pudding. You can use about anything in bread pudding, but this happens to be Vienna, and this is 4 cups, day-old, and I've just rough chopped it. So we have 4 cups there. So to this, I'm going to add 1 3/4 cup of just milk. This is a 2%, but we're gonna go ahead and put that right over our bread. And I'm gonna give this just a little stir. And then you're gonna wanna let this set for a good 15 minutes. Just let it set and kind of soak up. But it's gonna just soak up the milk, and you're gonna have just some soggy bread, which is the way we always start bread pudding. So it's just gonna look like that. So we're gonna set this aside, and then we're gonna continue. We'll let this get a little happy. So the next thing that we're going to do is 3 whole eggs. So we're just gonna put those in here. And you know, I love bread pudding of all kinds. A lot of you made a rhubarb bread pudding. I have to say, that's one of my favorites. But I just like regular old bread pudding too, with the warm vanilla sauce. You can't beat that. I love that. But I'm kind of a bread pudding kind of girl. I love it. So we just have 3 eggs here. We're just gonna give them a little whisk. 3 large eggs. All right. I'm gonna try to move my stuff out of the way so I just am not so cluttered here. All right, so here we have 1/2 cup of sugar, and this is just white sugar. I have made bread pudding with brown sugar, but for this one, I like the white, so we're gonna do that. So then we're going to add some vanilla, and I'll give you all you guys know I do this because I create these by scratch, and I have it scribbled down over here, but I'll get it all on the page for you so you know what's going on. So we're gonna add some vanilla, it's probably a couple teaspoons. Kind of amp up the vanilla in there. And then we're gonna do some cinnamon. And this is gonna be about a teaspoon, maybe just a tad over, but we're gonna do a teaspoon, let's do a teaspoon and a half. A good ground cinnamon. And then I'm also gonna put a little nutmeg. Just a little bit. Okay, so for those things here, we're just gonna mix together. And you can just use a whisk for this. Just get them incorporated. Because what we're gonna do is add this to our bread mixture. You're probably wondering, where are the peaches? Well, we're gonna get to them next. Peaches. Okay, so now we're just gonna let that hang out. All right, now let's talk about this. So this is just a skillet, and I sliced 4 medium-sized peaches, and then I put 1/2 cup of sugar on these and 3 tablespoons of butter, and I just let them simmer, bring them to a boil, simmer for about 3.5 minutes, and it's going to get to look like this. So you kind of have a peach butter is what you have, like if you're going to make a peach butter. So then what we're going to do, we're gonna go ahead and strain this. We're not gonna put all this in this would be too much liquid. So we're gonna strain these, and we're gonna, this reserved mixture on these peaches is going to make our peach butter sauce that we're gonna serve with this bread pudding. And I'm telling you what, it is amazing. That peach butter sauce really does it. Now we're gonna put this skillet back on the stove because we're gonna make our topping in that skillet. So I'm just gonna continue shaking this out. You don't have to like get every drop of it, but you wanna get those. So see, look at that. Look at that deliciousness right there. Peach creamy butter, yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, now I'm gonna let that set just for a second because we need to combine these. Okay, so we have our bread and milk that's been hanging out for a while. And then we're going to add our egg mixture right to our bread. Now, if you like a little less cinnamon with peach, you could use less cinnamon. You know, it's totally up to you. I say recipes are blueprints, and I know you guys do that too. When I post recipes, you always say, hey, I replaced this with that, and I really liked it, and that's great, because that's exactly what I do with recipes. Okay, so there we combined those two, and now we're gonna put these peaches in. So just the peaches. We'll just fold our peaches in. And that is good enough right there. Now I want to tell you. Now this is just going to make, well actually the one that I made earlier is in this size of a pan. This is a 1.5 quart. You could double this recipe and you could put it in a 9x13 pan if you have quite a few guests that you're going to be serving. So you could easily double it. That would be easy to do. So here I'm just going to use my go-to stoneware pie plate, and that's a stoneware also. But you know, any 2-quart baking dish is going to work for you. So we're just gonna, actually that fit in this really well too. So there it is, and you would just pop this in a 350 oven, and I baked mine for 40 minutes is what I baked mine at. And then the last 5 minutes of this bake time, I just sprinkled a little bit of sugar on the top the last 5 minutes and turned the broiler on. So you get this, because I kind of like the toasty on my bread pudding. I like to have those crispy parts too. And now if you like yours just to be all the same texture, you wouldn't have to broil it. But I really like the broiling because I like the little crunchy pieces too. Oh, that's still nice and warm. Okay, so then you would just pop this in the oven at 350 for 40 minutes. So let's make the sauce. Okay, so Dave is going to follow me over here to the stove, and I'm going to use this pan here. So now what we're going to be making is the peach butter sauce. We're gonna cook down a little bit, and you're gonna serve it with the bread pudding. So what we have there is our reserved peach butter, the peach sauce off of our peaches. That's what we have here. And then to that, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and I use my creamer here. This is my go-to. And you also want to do a 1/4 cup of the creamer. Now, if you don't have this creamer, use straight up whipping cream. That's going to be perfectly fine. And then you just want to mix these together. Your reserved peach juice, your brown sugar, and your whipping cream, or your coffee creamer, whichever one you have on hand. It's going to work fine. I wouldn't use milk, use cream, because we know cream thickens a little when it heats. So then you just want to bring this sauce here, just bring it to a boil, let it simmer for right about 3 minutes. All you're doing is just reducing it down. You just want to thicken it up just a little bit, and that's all you have to do. Now let's go back over, and I will show you what this looks like over here. So when you reduce that down, this is what it looks like. And I'm telling you what, this stuff is killer. It is so delicious. It has so much peach flavor. It's just amazing. I love this stuff, so good. But super easy recipe. Let's dig into it and give it a little try. Peach bread pudding. So I am gonna give it a try here. Okay, see there how it's nice and moist? Really nice and moist, but cooked all the way through. And then you have all these crispy parts on the top. And you have a little bit of crisp on the side as well. See, just a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. That is an amazing bread pudding right there. So I'm gonna give it a try. I gotta get the peach sauce though. Okay, so here's the bread pudding. Wow. And boy, does that smell good. And then you would just serve this a la carte. Just put it right on there. As much or as little as you want. I bet you choose much. Dave does.
Yes,
He chooses it much. Okay, here we go. Give this a try. It's the weekend. Let's have some bread pudding. This is really delicious. You gotta make this. Make it for some guests that are coming. You're gonna wow your guests with this. This is so good. This sauce, that is so good on here. Tastes like summer peach bread pudding. Make it, let me know how you like it.